Hi guys, welcome back. It's Angelica. I am going to be checking out a request by one of my Patreon subscribers, and I'm really excited about this one today because this is an artist that I have been really getting into lately, and his name is Steven Wilson. If you don't know him, he is the founder of the band Porcupine Tree. If you don't know Porcupine Tree, you really should. If you don't know Steven Wilson, you really should. I um, I don't say that often, and I really believe that he is one of the 21st century's best shots at just prolifically incredible music. So much of this music that I've been getting into is from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and while I love that, it's sad that we don't have music at that scale happening today. And it is. And so many of you are showing me where to look. And Steven Wilson is where you should look. So many of you that have not heard of him, that have checked out my videos, have told me, wow, this is really good. I'm going to check this guy out more. And I love that so much. I really think that more people should be talking about him. I really think that he's a genius. And I'm so excited that I have so much more of his catalog to look through. I really don't even know that much about him yet, but I know that he is so special. I checked out his album, Hand Cannot Erase, and it immediately became one of my favorite albums of all time. I did a full album review and listened to that here on my Patreon, and I just cannot say enough good things about that album. So, in the vein of continuing to talk a bunch before I begin the video, I want to read this blurb that the person that requested this sent to me because I think it's really important to understand what we're about to listen to here. I have not listened to this before, but I have read this before, and I was so intrigued by this description. And I think with Steven's music, it really is important to understand what you're getting into because there's so much, you can appreciate it so much more, I think. So I'm going to read this. I feel a bit self-conscious doing this because it is a bit long, but I think with this kind of progressive music, you really do need the patience to let things play out. And I believe in you that you have the patience to listen to this and that I don't have to just jump right into the music. I believe that we all understand how important this kind of stuff is. So I'm going to take the time to read this and then we're going to get into the music, and I can't wait. All right, so Objects Outlive Us is the opening half of Steven Wilson's 2025 album, The Overview, a 2-track, 42-minute concept LP based on the rather unsettling phenomenon known as the overview effect, the term used by astronauts to describe how it feels to look down at Earth from space for the first time and realize that our planet is an insignificant blue marble in a vast universe. Love it already. Wilson describes the overview as a Kubrickian journey into the darkness of outer space, seeing humanity for what it really is, tiny, insignificant, dwarfed by cosmic distances involving billions of years. This is so good. The inspiration for the overview came from conversations with Alexander Milas of Space Rock when Wilson's mind was blown by the idea of a space traveler's perspective in the vast distances of the universe. Just how tiny the Earth and the human race really are in relation to the cosmos, he enthused to Mojo magazine. When you start really going into that, it's a rabbit hole. At one point, Wilson envisioned the project as kind of an audiovisual art installation. He eventually turned it into a full-scale album with an accompanying film. Objects Outlive Us is split into several distinct movements. Okay, so this is what we're about to listen to, which is the first half of this album. So it's the first half of this album is called Objects Outlive Us, and it's split into these movements: No Monkey's Paw, The Buddha of the Modern Age, Objects, Meanwhile, The Cicerones, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Arc, cosmic sons of toil, no ghost on the moor, and heat death of the universe. Lyrically, the song juxtaposes the minutiae of daily life, rattling bins, supermarket queues, small town ennui, with the vast, incomprehensible expanse of time and space. Andy Partridge of XTC penned the lyrics after Wilson brought him in to provide the human grounding in this astral affair. I thought to myself, who writes about small town Britain better than anyone else? Wilson told Mojo. Ray Davies and Andy Partridge. And I don't know Ray, but I do know Andy. So I pitched him the ultimate challenge. Write something very Partridgey, dry wit, teacups, and garden fences, but against the backdrop of collapsing stars and cosmic entropy. Of course, he did a fantastic job, said Wilson, though he admitted the collaboration had its share of creative push and pull. He's particular, but I found him a joy to work with. Commercially, the overview was a notable success for a 42-minute progressive rock opus with no conventional singles. It debuted at number 3 on the UK albums chart and held its place at the top 100 for several weeks. It also hit number 1 in Germany and reached the top 10 in several other European countries. So that really intrigued me big time. I think that is a brilliant concept to explore, this overview effect, and then this juxtaposition of how vast space is and how insignificant we are here on Earth. The enormity of that juxtaposed with this like minutia of daily life of and I love that he kind of commissioned this guy that he felt wrote about that so well, to add that piece to the puzzle. That I love that. I'm so inspired by this already. Just knowing what it is. I can't wait to hear the music. So yeah, let's start it. So again, the first part is called No Monkey's Paw. And I think I'm just going to try to listen to it all the way through. I'm not going to make any promises if something just totally gobsmacks me. But let's go. Here is Objects Outlive Us.
There was no ghost on the moor, no open window, no monkey's paw. There in the mist, you ask me, did you forget I exist? I said yes, but she played too hard to get.
Oh my. Oh my. I have a feeling I might be crying. Ooh. This sounds so beautiful. I think I might be crying. absolutely love this. Oh my goodness. This is stunning.
A shopping bag broke, selling eggs and flour crashing down to the ground, just like star clusters smashing. But no one will give her a glance. They just shuffle on home in a trance. The tiniest lies fill their hives up with worry. To make it to church, well, she'll need to hurry. When late she will bow down contrite, while the meteor turns out the night. And there in a lottery street, a car isn't where it would normally be. The driver in tears about his payment arrears. Still nobody hears when his sun disappears in a galaxy apart. First day of the new job and he was so nervous. Suit and liberal attitude, can I be of service? His boss made him clean all the cars, while he wondered, is there life on Mars? And meanwhile the stars line themselves up in order, while we bicker on with our fences and borders. But best not to think about that. It's better to live without facts. And now in her old wedding bed, a lady will dream that her husband is dead. Of course he's alive, he'll be home around 5. Still silence arrives when a nebula dives into our Milky Way. The paving stones melt, and oddly the first spots make Orion's belters. You queue at the bank for an hour, 'cause a solar flare blew out the power. The nurse in the care home now empties her bathtub. The water will spiral, a galaxy's vast hub is draining away as we speak, but she loses her job there next week. There with his first telescope, a teenager stands full of hormones and hope as he sprints at the light like a painting of light. He doesn't suppose that a black hole implodes in a trillion tears from now. snow goes on the moor. No open window, no monkey's paw. There in the mist, you ask me, did you forget I exist? I said yes, 'cause you played too hard to get.
Where do you start? Oh my gosh. Just really quick before I forget, I'm so curious how he achieved that sound at the end there. That was really cool. Mashing of instruments. That sounded really awesome and perfect for what I think he was trying to achieve. Oh my gosh. I knew it when some of the first opening melodies began. I was in for it emotionally. I knew, see, this is what I mean. I knew just theoretically reading the write up, getting into this, that I was going to love it intellectually, spiritually, psychologically, in so many ways. But and then that's what he's so good at is he's so good at coming up with such a strong concept, but it's not just heady and intellectualized. He matches it with emotion with the music that he writes for this. Wow. I can't wait to hear the other side of this. Oh, this is tough. I really want to listen to it right now. I don't have the time. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this. While I try to gather my thoughts here, I'm going to look up some of the credits for this album because where I'm looking, I'm not seeing who's playing what instrument. And I'm curious if that was Guthrie Govan again on lead guitar. No. Okay, so possibly Steven. Okay, so Steven's credited playing vocals, guitar, bass. I did think that was him on bass. Keyboards, percussion, piano, pump organ, production, mixing, engineering. Adam Holtzman, Hammond organ, Mellotron. Love that Mellotron. Love the Rhodes, piano, synthesizer. Randy McStein, it could have been him. Background vocals, guitar, sound effects, vocals. Theo Travis, flute and saxophone. Russell Holtzman. I don't know if that's person is related to Adam Holtzman on drums, and then Willow Beggs on vocals. Honestly, did not catch that there were other people singing. There was a lot to catch there. Lot to catch. Okay, so, geez. So, all right, let me just kind of go stream of consciousness with this. So, I just think that this is a brilliant concept. And it landed even more after hearing the music, like I just said. He really drove home the awareness emotionally of the weight of what it's like to live with. Hold on, I'm getting to the point. What it's like to live with the awareness of our insignificance. Okay, we're not animals that just go throughout our day, dropping things in the grocery store and, having all of these little day-to-day experiences and just continuing through life that way, kind of on autopilot, right? We are blessed and cursed with this awareness of our consciousness, of our insignificance, of our context of being on this little planet that's in this universe and these galaxies. And I mean, it is just an overwhelming experience of awareness if you really think about it. It is both beautiful and crushing at the same time. And it is a burden that we bear to know this, to know that while our lives feel so important and so real to us individually, we really are so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And you have to be aware of that, but not too aware of that. It's very difficult, and I think it's one of humanity's greatest struggles and responsibilities, is to try to find that balance between getting too self-involved and not being weighed down by the fact that we're all insignificant and doesn't matter anyways, and forgetting about the universe and the context of everything. And then the other side of the coin is not getting too focused on how big everything is and losing sight of your individual life. It's a really tough thing to figure out how to balance those things, because like he begins and ends this. Did you forget I exist? I said yes, but you played too hard to get. The way I'm taking that is like, we do forget. We forget. We get caught up in our daily lives and we forget about the rest of this universe, the rest of this world out there. And we almost have to be able to carry on. But at the same time, we have to remember it too, to not become too self-indulgent and too self-important. So it's tough, and then we're burdened with having this task at all. But it's beautiful. It's existential. You do have choice. And although it's heavy to carry this, it's beautiful to have such awareness and be able to put things in context in this way. I am just blown away by him. He has quickly become one of my favorite artists. I tend to get hyperbolic. He might be my favorite artist. I don't know. I just really connect to him so much, just theoretically, but also the music that he comes up with is just absolutely brilliant. And sorry, I am kind of just going stream of consciousness, but the production value on this is just pristine. It sounds so good. It sounds so crisp and clear, and just I think of that write-up that I read before beginning this, Kubrickian. I mean, just the attention to detail is astounding, and it just sounds gorgeous. Not to mention what he's playing. The music that he wrote for this is just stunning. It's perfect. It's beautiful but weird. I just love all of the melodies and the chords that he used. I love the use of piano and all of the different piano textures, like we were saying, like Rhodes and Mellotron, all these things. I mean, it just sounds so beautiful. It's perfect. I mean, he nailed this. He absolutely nailed this. I had no doubt that he would. But this is so, so well done. And I love how, I loved how it began. I inclined myself to space. There was no ghost on the moor, no open window, no monkey's paw. There in the mist, you asked me, did you forget I exist? And I loved the way he sang. I said yes. I'm going to go back and find that actually, because he said it. He sang that in such a beautiful way. I don't know if I can find it, but I'm going to try. No. This was so beautiful too.
There in the mist, you ask me, did you forget I exist? I said yes, but she played too hard to get.
Oh my goodness. That is so stunning to me. The way he paused and the way that music just swelled. That was just such a pregnant pause. And the way he kind of like sheepishly, he's like, I said yes. Like he's not proud of it. And then at the end, when he repeats that, he says it more confidently, I think. But I just love the way he's saying that. That was so gorgeous. And okay, so then that brings me to my next point of like the next verse in this, the Buddha of the modern age. Okay, so to go back to that for a second, the way that rhythm, that did you forget I exist, love that. And then we see that kind of monotone, metered rhythm in this whole verse of the Buddha of the modern age. It was just, hold on, let's go back to it. It was really crazy sounding. I mean, wow, what a great juxtaposition of like the emotion that he brought in the way that he's saying that opening. And then you've got this kind of like inhuman, I don't know if it's kind of representing like the universe, and this just kind of galactic presence of an entity that is reminding you of its existence. It's not a person. It's not a person with feelings. It's this huge thing that just like keeps coming at you. For some reason, it's making me think of like the beginning of Star Wars, like the way those credits rolled up. It's just kind of like, just like hitting you. It's just like continuing to hit you. That was the way I kind of visualized that for some reason. I love that so much. That is such a great idea. I'm so inspired by him. He is so brilliant. I just, this kind of music, it is so deeply inspiring to me. I love music. Okay, I can turn on the radio and find things even today that I can, enjoy to an extent. I am proud and grateful for that. I don't necessarily take credit for it. I don't really have to try. I genuinely just innately love music, and in many, many forms. Like my first, I was dancing at like 9 months old to like grocery store jingles on the TV. So it's just whatever it is. If it's music and it's got a good melody, it's got a good rhythm, I'm here for it. Okay. So I'm not elitist when it comes to music, but at the same time, I do understand there is a vast difference in skill and execution of music. And this is music at its highest level. And unfortunately, I do think so much of music has become essentially a vanity project for the artist. We just get so many songs about relationships and, whatever struggle the person is going through, which, it has its place. It absolutely does. A lot of my favorite songs fit into that category. Okay. So I'm not necessarily saying that we shouldn't have that, but it's such a breath of fresh air to find this kind of music that is so conceptually based, and it's so based off of something so much larger than that artist's own life. And I mean that they're literally talking about that here too. But just even apart from the actual subject matter of this, it's just such a breath of fresh air to find an artist like this that is like so zoomed out of themselves and really willing to dive into like really deep, impactful human themes. And I feel like I relate to that because I'm very much a big picture person, and like at times I've felt very intimidated by creating music of my own. But when I think of it in this way, like of zooming out and like looking at concepts that matter to me, that matter to humanity, I feel like the music follows suit. And I love that he approaches it that way, where he is inspired by a particular idea or concept, and then the music just kind of naturally follows. I'm sure it was a ton of work. I'm sure he put a ton of thought and care into this. But when you have such a strong concept or inspiration like that, I feel like that's the right way to go about it. Because everything becomes congruent at that point, you know? Everything about this fits. The sound of it, it has this like space, huge, like cosmic spanning sound. But then it also has this humanity to it as well. And I love that he had, what is that guy's name? Andy Partridge and Ray Davies. I'm not familiar with them. I love that he brought them in to write the lyrics, some of the lyrics here of like kind of painting that human day-to-day life that we all can relate to. I feel like I could talk about this for hours, honestly. This is incredible. I absolutely love this. So I very much look forward to finishing this. And I will continue to talk about it more when I'm done, because this is only the first half. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm just, wow. Oh, and let me just say too, like part of what moves me so much listening to this is just, I feel so seen. I think so many of us can relate to feeling alone. Particularly those of us that think and experience things on like a deeper level and are really emotional and deep. I don't say that in like a self-important way, but like I think about this kind of stuff. And not everybody does. Not everybody's willing to sit here and listen to stuff like this. Not everyone's willing to sit and think about these things. But I think we should. And it is very comforting to me to know that other people do. And you feel alone in that sometimes, because this is not the type of conversation you have with somebody at the grocery store. This is not small talk. This is not something most people want to delve into. And it's just so comforting to me to know that other people out there experience life in this way and think about things like this and are able to just, the way he was able to just put the music to all of this in such a beautiful, perfect way. I just left it feeling so seen, that like my experience on this earth is not alone. It's not in vain. Like other people see things and feel things like I do, because the way the music made me feel was so natural and familiar to me, even though this is something I've never heard before. I've never heard anything like this before, but it was so easy to take in for me. It just felt so axiomatic. I just want to say that again. I can't wait to finish this album. I'm so blown away and excited that this just came out last year, and that, I think Steven Wilson is in his 50s, and we still have hopefully so much more of his life left to see what else he's going to come up with. I'm just so excited that this is current music It's just current brilliance. I'm so happy to know it now. I'm totally on board for this ride. I love this guy so much. So thank you for listening to this with me, and I will see you on the next one.